This section is for those people who say they never hear any UFO stories here in Southern Africa, which is where we live. This next event is well known to UFO enthusiasts, but not that widely known outside of these specialist reports. The story has remained as mysterious and is still unexplained as it was reported back in 1994 when it first happened. So this is a second case I've used involving multiple witnesses. Again, there's not much more than a testimony, but it's 62 kids who testified and saw this bizarre encounter while they were outside in the playground of their school, Ariel School, which is in Rua, Zimbabwe, just outside of Harare. The credibility of the story is based on the consistency as well as the similarity of the accounts given by the children. But there were no adults in the school playground to corroborate the story, which leads some people to say, well, perhaps it was a prank. But then again, we must firstly ask, are adults better at telling the truth than children? And 62 kids, are they all capable of inventing a lie that not one of them at any stage admitted to? Seems hard to believe they would be so consistent. Now, there was no physical evidence left. The craft didn't leave any prints, and nobody took a photograph or any film or anything. But then again, 20 years later, they interviewed some of the kids, and I will show this a little bit later on in this presentation, where they still did not change their story 20 years later, and they all agree that they saw something that is completely inexplicable in conventional terms. The only adult that was in the playground was a mom who was working in the tuck shop. When the kids came running and screaming to her, she didn't believe them, and she was reluctant to leave the shop unattended. The teachers were in a staff meeting at a time, and when they were told by the kids what was going on outside, they also didn't believe them. And the children were so unnerved by this event that when they got to their homes, they were all telling their parents, and then parents began phoning the school, asking them what on earth was going on. And it seems someone knew the local journalist who specialized in UFOs and the paranormal, Cynthia Hind, and she was contacted. She then arrived at the school the next day armed with camera to find out exactly what had happened.
Came running up here in such a panic, and I mean, even if we had staged it, they could not have run all together like that. Even if we practiced it, I don't know how many times. But they came up here like a living snake, and they just came. We were in a staff meeting, and we just heard them screaming, ah, when they were here, you know, and a child can't make that up. I was very skeptical in the beginning as well. I believed that they'd seen something, but I wasn't prepared to accept that it was anything supernatural or anything like that. But I think the consistency of what's been going on indicates that it was more than I was prepared to admit in the beginning.
No, I just wondered because he was the one that spoke to me.
Alright, these are the grade 7s, the oldest children here at the school who say they saw something.
Did you all see something?
Yes.
Can you just tell me very briefly, if we go along, just say what your name is and what you saw?
Nathaniel Coxwell.
What did you see?
There was sort of like ship landed on the ground.
Why do you say ship? Did it have a shape?
Yes.
Like what?
It had a round top and it was flat like that around the sides.
What was around the side?
Just sort of like a platform coming around the side.
Did you see anything else?
Yes, we saw a black man running around.
A little man or what?
From where we looked, he was about this small, but we were quite way away. So he was about our size.
Could you see his face?
No.
What is your name?
My name's Luke Nell, and I didn't see the spaceship, but I saw the little black guy. He was all black, and it looked like he had long hair.
Could you see his face?
No,
Just in the black, what was he wearing?
it just looked like he had long hair and he was all black.
But he wasn't naked.
No,
What did he have on?
no, that's all you can see.
Oh, you could only see that?
Yeah.
Why? Was he among the trees?
It was just about like a shadow.
Where did Emma see it?
I saw it. Well, I was standing over there when I moved over there because a few children were scared. But I moved over there and I saw it, the same one, but you could see it from both directions.
Okay. And this chap?
This guy, Stefan, he actually said he saw it over in this direction.
Do you think it moved from one place to the other?
No.
No, it was just, there might have been two then.
Yeah.
Now, Cindy, what are your impressions after this morning's little expedition?
Well, I certainly believe the children.
Mr. Vernon, if you could just take your grade sixes.
Okay.
Well,
He
we'll
told
meet you.
Mr. Kind about the Thursday as well.
Yeah, some of the children say they actually saw it on Thursday as well, which is the day before.
There was like there.
I think they were quite shy about,
Yes.
I think if you see it on some of the drawings, I think like this one here, it's got what he saw on Thursday, and then basically what he saw on Friday.
Like a pencil in the sky. Yeah. Well, must be.
And this is Emma.
Oh, Emma Christensen.
Yes.
Yes, because your drawing was particularly interesting. They have asked me about it. You saw in your drawing, you've got not only the main object there, but you've got several others. Now, did you see these coming down, or did you see them in the sky?
I saw them disappear. They went 1 meter up from the ground and then they just disappeared.
They went 1 meter up and they disappeared. And this, you saw this creature?
Yes, he was very, very shiny black.
Shiny black
Shiny black.
suit.
Kind of suit.
Would you say it was like a ordinary suit that, was it like what Mr. Mack is wearing?
No.
What would you call the type of clothing?
I'm not sure, but he was really...
Have you ever seen the divers going to the sea?
Oh yes, like that.
Was it like that, or was it like an overall? Or a tight-fitting suit?
It was tight-fitting.
It was tight-fitting, and it was shiny.
Yes.
Could you see his face?
Well, I only saw a glimpse of it.
And you don't remember any individual features?
Well, I only remember that his eyes were quite big.
Eyes were big. And were you afraid?
I was...
The newspaper accounts of the airship craze of the
doctor, a man of science. But these people were desperate, and he became curious what the underlying psychiatric syndrome might be. So he studied over 200 abductees using his entire psychiatric arsenal. People from all over the world who had never met each other were telling identical abduction stories. Dr. Mack was shocked with his findings. He said, in his opinion, these people are not lying and they are not crazy. He compiled his findings in his best-selling book, Abduction. Well, when Harvard Medical School got wind of this, they were mortified that their head of psychiatry was on national television saying that aliens were real. So they formed a secret committee to discredit Dr. Mack, to ruin his reputation, and to take away his tenure, the first in the university's history. Headlines around the world mocked him. His friends, his colleagues, even his wife thought he had lost his mind. For over 14 months, Dr. Mack endured what amounted to a witch hunt against him. But in spite of all of this, he never wavered from his beliefs, and he stood by the abductees.